Space, the final frontier. These are the voyages of a new Trekkie. My 5-year mission to search out Star Trek media, to seek out our fans and merchandise, to boldly go where no fan has gone before.
Greetings and salutations. If I sound nasally and all that, my nasal decongestion's a bit flaring up. I apologize. So we're back looking at episodes of TNG of the episodes The Beholder and Genesis. Let's look at The Beholder first. In this episode, Troy investigated a crewman's suicide and discovers that a murder was committed on the ship while it was being built, and that the murderer is still aboard. I really like, so basically the story is a bit of a whodunnit. I really like whodunnit kind of stories. I apologize, like, my voice again, sorry. And I always like it when they have, like, say, some characters who don't always get a lot of, stories for themselves. Like, say, in this case, they're focusing on Deanna. And so this episode, basically, what happens is Deanna starts seeing, things from the man who passed away through his eyes. And so ever so often she sees, a man who seems just very creepy, played by, the character of Walter Pierce, played by Mark Robertson. And this episode was also the beginning relationships between Worf and Deanna. Because previously it was done in like an alternate universe kind of episode. And it worked. I mean, I feel like, say, like the way the reason they had decided to have the romance for this episode is because they thought, okay, we're gonna have a part where basically the entire story is dealt with, like, like see through a lover's eyes of, like, say, something that could have, like, a murder or something like that. And I think all those moments are really well done. It's always cool when they have Deanna do mysteries or, like, say, do bits of fun things, like, the Western episode. I just do find it a bit, surprising, like, say, having Deanna and Worf, being item so late in the show, since season 7 was the final season of the show. And this is episode 18, so yeah. But overall, I'm gonna say this episode was fairly done. It was exciting. It had a lot of intensity at times, I'd say. I kinda liked it. Now let's look at Genesis. In this episode, Captain Jean-Luc Picard and Data return to the USS Enterprise to discover the rest of the crew de-evolved in primitive forms of life, including spiders, amphibians, and cavemen. So basically the whole, main problem that caused this whole thing was that Barkley had a bit of a cold, and then basically, Beverly decided to say, I'm gonna cure it with this. And I gotta say, there's never been, a Halloween-themed episode of Star Trek, because at the same time, why would there be? Because, why would suddenly, say, ooh, spooky day, October, in Star Trek? People, I bet the Star Trek universe would be say, who cares? That would be kind of, how would you explain Halloween in the Star Trek universe? And I do think, this is a very, very, memorable episode based on all the makeup of this episode. Whether it's
Barkley, who turns into almost a Spider-Man. Like, you know, part of his hands gets tendrils or pinchers. It was really cool. And then, like, say, Riker, he basically gets, his hair gets wild, he gets a giant beard, and, Worf, his, like, say, they create more of an animalistic version of a Klingon. Which is awesome. I can say this, I feel like say this would have been an awesome, since this episode came out in 1994, this would have been cool if it had also been if this could have been like say a house at Halloween Horror Nights, because I could actually see this. Then again, I'm surprised they haven't done that, because they could have done that. They could have totally done Star Trek at Halloween Horror Nights. This was awesome, I thought. But at the same time, I kind of like how like most episode is set up to like say all the like say the illness of like say the evolution. Like a side part is like say that Data's cat Spot ends up being pregnant, so we have that, and Spot turns into a lizard. But I'll see you next time. I'm probably gonna have soup later.